military band.
Happy 4th of July, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. I am proud to be an American where at least I know I'm a little bit free. What's going on? Welcome, everyone. Smash up that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Ding the bell to be notified because you will get notified by YouTube, hopefully, whenever we go live and whenever we post some bullish content, which is what we're doing today. Welcome, my friends. I hope you're doing well. If you are in the United States, I know you will be celebrating this fantastic day, this Independence Day, where we successfully gained our independence from the British oligarchy, the kings and queens of the world, and finally set up our own democratic republic. What's going on, everyone? We're having some fun today. We're having some fun. Had a nice brunch with the girlie, and we're going to be working a little gig later this evening. So the fam is going to be watching the fireworks without me, but I will be there in spirit. But we are going to be covering this retest here. I feel like it's a bullish retest. You know, Bitcoin was basically getting a little bit overbought up here, close to the all-time high. You can see we did a really nice test of support on this 107 line right here. You can see this 107.3 was really nice support for us to bounce off of whenever we tried to trade. You know, we traded up into 107.8, got a little consolidation down on the EMA ribbon, and we bounced. And now once we bounced off of that level, we stayed above the EMA ribbon for a good amount of time. You know, not too short of a time frame, but you see right here kind of stayed above it for a good 8-9 hours on average, and then we went below it again, but then traded and tried to test up into close to the all-time high, which was basically 112,000 was the all-time high, almost like to the dollar amount. But something that we noticed here yesterday is we had a bearish divergence. You know, we had a bearish divergence here on the price, and it looked like the exchanges were going to toss up some of that leverage. You can see the liquidation levels were pretty hot down in these levels. And Marty Party was actually one of the accounts. And also I was looking at it too. I was like, man, if they will do anything, the exchanges will love to liquidate those 50 to 100x leverage longs and wash trade those and liquidate those longs at around between 104 and 107,000. He said, always be prepared to set limit longs on those ranges to be safe. He said, arm your battle stations, my friends. So this actually looks like this is what they're trying to do. They brought it right down to 107.5, which is actually one of those liquidation levels. You can see here, if we go to the 12-hour liquidation heat map, you can see that we have some liquidity that could still be swept at these lows right here. So we want to watch out. We can see that they already swept some of the lows right here at 107.5. You can see some liquidity here sitting at 106.9, 107, basically right at 107. So I would watch out for liquidity getting swept at the lows here, because this is where we had previous support. And you can see that the uptrend is not sustained. The uptrend is now considered going into a downtrend. And even though the RSI can show on a smaller time frame that it's, quote, oversold, well, that damn thing can continue to be oversold until it hits the lows. And why? Because the exchanges like to wreck you. So what you need to do is know this, and just like Marty Party said, and what we've been encouraging too, is to try and find those levels where they're going to liquidate people and do a quick V-shaped recovery, because this is what Binance and Coinbase have been doing. They get people excited, they get the Bitcoin in a range, and then they V-shape bounce recovery, liquidate, wash trade the longs, and then they'll do the same thing on the other side where they see the short levels, and you can see where the price is, where the shorts will get liquidated, which is at the all-time highs, which would create a breakout. But they can suppress this and continue to liquidate these short-term traders that are high leveraged and wash them out. So this is actually what is happening right now. So Chad Within was asking, what the heck is going on? A bullish retest? Well, I'd say it will be a pretty decent bullish retest on some of these lows. We gotta sweep these lows because we're already down there. So if the market already brought us down close to support, it's pretty obvious that it'll get hit at support, or pretty much, I mean, if you look at the Bollinger Band, here's a key indication too. You look at the Bollinger Band and you can actually see where the Bollinger Band is indicating where price can hit, which is right at 107,000, which could be a pretty decent limit long order if you're wanting to catch a V-shaped recovery. So here is where you can basically successfully catch a falling knife like a ninja, go bah, and then catch it, boom, right there. And then you can actually use the market manipulation to your advantage, and we can make some money here, and we don't get chopped up. But you can really see it on the charts right now. This is what's happening with Bitcoin, if you're wondering what's happening with Bitcoin. Now, because Bitcoin is doing this, and you can see it playing out literally right in front of our eyes in real time right now. This is why you watch live streams. This is why you tune into my live stream and you tune into crypto and learn how these markets are being manipulated, so then you can prepare, and you can also use these opportunities to buy the dip, because then look, you got all these altcoins that now just went up to 10, 15%. Well, guess what? Now they just retraced 10. So when Bitcoin moves, everything else moves. If Bitcoin goes up, most of the things are going to be going up. It carries the market, and so does Ethereum. So what is Ethereum doing? Well, Ethereum's actually trading pretty strong still, but it's showing the same consolidation as Bitcoin, and you can see where we have a support range on Ethereum as well, which is below 2,500. We're going to cross under 2,500. We're literally doing it right now. We're going to cross under 2,500. We'll establish another support level, and this is where the market is basically just bringing the market back to entry where the excitement was and where the bullishness was, to liquidate the longs that did not get out fast enough. So you can see that if you were able to catch and look and see on the shorter time frames the bearish divergence here, which is basically a top being a price of a top right here, where it stops out, does a retest, hits a higher spot from where it consolidated, and that's what gives us the divergence. And then you can also see it on the opposite side of the RSI, where at the point where you hit the high, it does a opposite motion going to the downside, because the strength of the RSI isn't actually above where it would be like this. That would be a bullish divergence, and that would signify strength on RSI, pushing us up a little bit more. But as you can see, it's an inverse correlation between the price and the RSI. So this is very key to see, because especially on shorter time frames than the 10-minute, you can actually see this playing out, and you can actually make a good educated guess into the probability of us going on a downtrend. Doesn't mean we're not still bullish. Like, we're still bullish on the macro trend, on the daily, the weekly. Like, the daily, the weekly is great. You know, it's just, if you look at the daily, you can see we bounced really well off of 2100, establishing support at a Fibonacci extension. And so what we're eyeing is the next Fibonacci extension levels, which is 2700, and also the 618, which you can see here is sitting at 3,000, and that is going to be the break point to send us back into the ranges where we were in the beginning of the year. So it's all lining up that these whales are actually, these Bitcoin whales are being activated because of the nature of Bitcoin being at and close to its all-time highs. And people are wondering, why are they selling? What do you mean, why are they selling? If you bought Bitcoin back in the early days and you were able to acquire thousands of Bitcoin for a couple hundred bucks, like you maybe bought $1,000 of Bitcoin, that means you acquired a few thousand Bitcoin. So if you were able to successfully hold these Bitcoin with your keys for the past 13, 14 years, you are in millions of dollars in profit. You're going to probably take some profit. So this is what's happening. We're having a redistribution of the Bitcoin that was bought in the early days to the new investors. Who are the new investors? Well, it's not retail, it's the institutions. So this is what is happening. We're having a redistribution of the coins that were held by the old wallets, and they're being redistributed to the people that are wanting to buy now, like Michael Saylor, like BlackRock, like the treasuries, like the countries, like all this stuff. This is what's coming down the pipe. So if you're wondering why you're seeing these things happen, why it's moving, and Ansa made that point too. He said, funniest thing about all old Bitcoin wallets waking up are the people in the comments like, well, why would they sell now? And it's like, bro, they turned 1K into $1 billion. What are you talking about? Like, they legitimately, with $1,000 in 10 years, became multi-millionaires. So yeah, they're probably going to sell a little bit. And what's crazy is that it's just, I use this example of Lorenzo, the Bitcoin, pizza legend, where he spent thousands of Bitcoin on 2 Papa John's pizzas that now would be worth a couple millions of dollars, like a lot of money. But you got to remember, if he had that many Bitcoin then, how many do you think he actually kept? Well, probably a pretty decent amount. So I think he's doing all right, and I actually know that he's doing all right. So it's wild. It's pretty wild, because I had lunch with him. So he seemed pretty happy and content and wasn't stressed out. I'm sure he's got a couple thousand more Bitcoin from the mining days. So this is what's wild. And shows you the nature of the sustainability of Bitcoin, and it's being tested as what it's meant to be, is a true cash to cash payment, peer-to-peer cash system, but also intrinsically a store of value as well. So it's this beautiful, wonderful thing that we can start to learn about and get exposure to, and we don't need to be gaslighted by the ultra wealthy to think that we're priced out of it. That's BS. If it's going to millions and millions of dollars per coin, you're not priced out of it. We're still in the early phases of the biggest financial revolution and switchover that we've ever seen. And people are getting convinced to be bearish and to just quit when you've only been in the cycles for a couple years. It takes a while to build wealth, true wealth, where you can be like, hush your mouth. Mr. Boss Man. That's when you start to get to that level where you start to really can actually retire enough to work. You have your money working for you. It takes a little bit. It's compounding moves, not gambling lottery tickets and maybe a hope and a prayer for the runner of the day to give you your wealth overnight. That's not how it works. True wealth is built with time, patience, conviction, and the ability to ride the volatility. And that's just the damn truth. Don't let anyone else convince you that. Listen to what I'm saying. It's the truth, which is what I'm trying to do with this channel, is give you the truth. Not some cookie cutter, sprinkle, sugary kind of thing or a hope and a prayer. I'm going to give you the truth and tell you that it's not easy what we're doing, but you are in the right place. You're in the right place. You just need to ride these waves of volatility, which are going to come. So with that being said, let's give some shout outs right now. I don't know what has happened. I think YouTube is 100% shadow banning me for some reason. I don't know why. I have very valuable content, and we live stream Monday through Friday consistently, have an awesome community that actually likes to tune in, but they don't even let them know when I'm live streaming. So the only way that we're going to be able to battle this is if you guys can be evangelistic on the live stream and just share it. Share it to your friends, share it to your coworkers, share it to your barber, whoever needs to learn about this stuff and start thinking about looking at the Bitcoin chart, looking at these assets, and even just considering getting into some type of investment plan or a strategy. Send them to this channel. Send them to this channel. This channel is geared towards intermediate crypto people that have been into crypto cycles for a while, but also directed to the people that are just coming in and want to get an honest breakdown and not some like I'm just shilling you a bunch of stuff and then just telling you, yeah, like cool, you're going to make a bunch of money. No, I'm going to be very honest with you and say, hey, you are going to come into this market right now with maybe a couple $1,000s and get ready to see that go down 40%. At any point. Get ready to possibly even see it go up 150%. And then you get super excited, and then guess what? Then it goes down. It will be waves of volatility and tumultuous, crazy waves of a journey with especially with crypto. But now we're starting to see that stocks are getting like all of this like almost meme coin like attention because of the nature of stocks like these are now tokenized. We have a tokenized MSTR, we have a tokenized coin, a tokenized Tesla stock, a tokenized a GME, a tokenized Robinhood, a tokenized Circle stock. A lot of them being offered through crypto Oracle kind of protocols that are offering these tokenized real-world assets or just RWAs, but then also the stocks. This is a major narrative right now, too, that we can pay attention to, and curious to see how this is going to play out in the next couple years in the valuation of some of these companies, especially now that they could be traded 24 hours a day on the stock market without having to worry about the 9 a.m. market open. It's just like, I feel like we're in the point now where all of the different recoveries that we've had in the past from different financial crashes or instability. We had the COVID. We had 2008. We had COVID. We had different proxy wars that have been happening, like with the Ukraine Russia. We've had the Israel Iran, like Hamas and Israel. Like, I mean, all these different proxy things happening all around the world, and every time we've had this stuff happen in the past, we've had the oh my gosh, it's chaos, everything's going to be burning for forever and it's never going to go up. And then whenever we have the doomsday articles, from that point of the doomsday articles, we get a market correction of 35%. Historically, there's a graph that shows us this, where every time they've done this, we've had a 35%, 40% recovery in the stock market. And then now we're going to see the same thing, where it's like, it's doom, it's gloom. And then everyone's complaining. Raoul Paul gives a perfect example where everyone's just so impatient, cannot hold through the waves of volatility. And there's always been a banana zone at a certain point where the market wakes up and people can't make it to that point because they're too impatient. So what we're trying to, for our own sake and your sake, is to get you to understand this and know that that's the game. You have to be patient and you have to stick with it long enough, because everyone else is going to fall to the wayside. People are going to fall one by one, capitulate and leave and quit, and you are going to stay because you understand that that's how the game is played. You have to be, if you're out, you're out. That you have no exposure. That's more risk than being in the market if it potentially went down or up. Now you have no exposure and you have no risk. The risk, but you do. That's the mind F, is that you think it's less risky to not be in the markets or not investing, but it's actually more risky to not be taking risks at all. Everything is a risk, what we've explained. You drive to work, that's a risk. Anything that you do is a risk. So, but what's at the end of it? A reward, a potential reward. So the risk to reward ratios are always something that you need to be analyzing and ratioing to where the amount of risk that I'm willing to take, what's the reward at the end? And does that reward outweigh the potential risk of not even doing it at all? Because that's also a risk of just being frozen and not doing anything and just staying small, staying simple, doing the same shit every day. That's more of a risk than you risking going into something to get the reward. So that you have to understand. That's life in general. And the older that I've gotten and then the things that I've learned, man, over the past 7 years. I can't begin to tell you how many things I've had to learn, and a lot, and some of them the hard way. So I hope what I'm saying is striking something inside of you to start really focusing and really starting to lock in, because what else do you have to do besides to make your life better and use crypto and use these markets and learning about investing to do so? Because this is the best thing that you can do. Out of everything in the world right now, if you don't learn how to invest and increase your money, you are going to be behind. You are going to be behind. Unless you have figured out the niche of that is just you have just dominated. You're skillful at this. It doesn't even have to be crypto. It could be something. Then lock in. You know that works for you. That works for you. But for just the average person, if you don't have a lot of skills or you don't have some niche thing that you've been practicing your whole life to be able to generate income on, then investing and getting your money to work for you is the only way out. Because obviously earning an income can only get you so far, because we know that things are expensive. We know that things constantly go up in price and the dollar's being inflated. So if you make 60 grand a year, that used to be pretty decent and could pay your bills, but now 60 grand ain't nothing. It ain't going to get you anything. And especially You could even be trying to live a pretty modest lifestyle and actually budget and save and do the things, and 60 grand still ain't enough. Because guess what? Average rent price is over $2,000. You have to pay water, electricity, a phone bill. Groceries are more. Your grocery bill is now $500, $600, $700 a month. If you have a family, $60K ain't going to do it now. You have to have 2 people working, making $60K to then make over $100K, because even if you're making $100K a year, it's still not enough. It's still not enough. You know this to be true. It's still not enough. It's not enough. It used to be, but it's not now, because guess what? Governments print fiat money into the ground. This is what they do. What has been appreciating over year, 5 years over year, 50%, 60% year over year, and over the past 5 years and 10 years, 150% over everything. Bitcoin. What's been trending down since 2022? The dollar. What's been breaking all-time highs and giving us a chance to get our money back? It's Bitcoin. It takes a little bit sometimes to learn this, but you realize that, wow, this is why Bitcoin was created, and this is why all the rich people are borrowing against their stock and borrowing this money that is not tied to anything. It's just debt, and they're putting it in something that can give them 100%, 150%, almost like now over year, and over the past 5 years. And how do you add more risk? Altcoins. We broke down our altcoin picks and our portfolio, and what our portfolio pretty much looks like. Like, it looks looks like this. We call it the simple strategy portfolio, where we have our blue chip bullish, large cap coins like Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. And then we have mid cap stuff like our Polygon and our AVAX and Arbitrum and Chainlink. And then you get lower in the third tier of your lower caps, higher risk exposure stuff, where you go into the memes of the chains. So for me, Ethereum memes are Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu, ticker Bitcoin. Then we got Pepe, and we have we also have we're eyeing the Trump coin. We're eyeing the Trump coin for Solana, but then also we've always liked Ponky. So Ponky is one of those kind of little high risk stuff for Solana. And then going into another memes, we have Dogecoin and Brett as the meme coin for the base chain. And then we have a little bit of exposure into some low cap gaming stuff, gaming infrastructure, like Nakamoto Games. We've always been a big fan of them and have tested them on stream and tested their games. And we think they're different from a lot of other platforms, so we like the fact that they're kind of doing their own thing. We really like that. Medieval Empires is like, if you're into RTS strategy games, and if once people that played like Conquer, what is it, Age of Empires, or there's all the the really popular like Civilizations and all just the really popular RTS games, or even like Warcraft. Once they figure out about this game, Medieval Empires, like they're gonna probably like it, and they're gonna play it because it's very playable. The token's very intertwined and connected with the game in terms of what you can do for the use case, and pretty bullish, and it's still low cap. And when crypto gaming was bullish and people were buying speculative assets in crypto gaming, the Me token was just pumping. Same with Naka, was doing really well. IMX was doing really well. And this is gaming infrastructure, where it's kind of like the back end stuff of what you would want your crypto game to be using. Immutable X helps with that. So it's kind of a good bet, in my opinion, on looking at, and it doesn't have to be this one. It could be any of the tokens that have a the gaming infra as the narrative could be something to look into. So this is just a really simple portfolio. There's only 15 or more coins in here. It's not a big spread, and it's access to and it's exposure to all of the different narratives, like the layer 2 narrative, the memes, an exchange connected token like Crow, but it's its own chain as well. We have some Oracle stuff like the XYO and Chainlink, what that's working with RWAs. So yeah, your portfolio can look pretty similar to this, but it doesn't have to be these exact tokens, obviously. But if you're analyzing your portfolio in terms of strength, then this is how I would be doing it. Is kind of like having your pick of blue chips, have the coins that are connected into those blue chip coins, whether it be the native assets on the actual chain, and then the most popular coins on those, which I think are these two. And then I think like Wojak is another good pick. And this is just picks for me. Like, they can be completely different for you. You could like Bobo and Mog. You could be more team Popcat, or you like Dog with Hat. Or instead of Dogecoin, you want Shiba Inu. Like, you can kind of interchange these things, and so that's just kind of how you want to you can have a good diversified portfolio in terms of the crypto. And then when it comes to diversification with the stocks, we also had Ansem do another nice post. We're like, actually, Ansem, you're posting pretty good. A lot of times we didn't like Ansem's post, but he's been pretty bullish neutral. So you have to construct a portfolio of 50% stocks, 50% crypto, limited to 10 assets. So look, we even have probably too much, but I think narrowing it down to about 10 assets that you can focus on, and then focus on those and just literally like for the next 10 years. Because you have to think long term. You have to think multi-cycle coins. What is going to be the use? What's going to be the use? What's going to be the attention? It's going to be these RWAs, the chains that are getting a lot of stable coins being minted on the chain. So that gives more sustainability and total value locked, and more revenue generating on these chains that keeps them alive. If you're not generating revenue, you're not generating buy pressure around your token, and there's no DeFi action, there's no nothing. I mean, your coin will die. No one will care. And it doesn't matter if it has the best tech, or it has the best this, or best process, or research papers, or whatever it is. No one cares. Does it get attention? Are you taking care of the token and getting proper token redistribution and trading and action around the token? And is there somewhat of a use case that actually gets people to just like buy the token? Because if the use case is just attention and feeling good about holding something, then it doesn't matter what the tech is. It's just like the meme communities. Like, for instance, like SPX 6900. If you're a part of that community, you are part of what is their mission, is flipping the stock market. Whether they do it or not, there's a goal at hand. There's a goal at hand. So same with Ticker Bitcoin. It's like, look, Ticker Bitcoin is destined, and their goal is to be the people's Bitcoin as the ultimate funniest joke and hedge of memes and the whole Bitcoin community to get to $10 and breaking $1 billion market cap. There's clear goals. And if you can't get the holders to then generate buy pressure around the token and hodlability around that goal, then no one cares. That's what I've noticed in being in crypto long enough, that's all that matters. And that's Morad's whole point, is that if you can't, VCs don't know how to do this. Only meme communities know how to do this. Meme communities do this right, because if no one's buying the token, then who cares what you're doing? No one cares. Will it get buy pressure on the token? Why do you think Bitcoin has had so much buy pressure? Is because there is such a massive campaign in the big money world for them to preserve their wealth. That's their mission. How do I keep my money? That's their mission. How do I keep my money from being debased every single year? Michael Saylor then figured that out and was like, oh, that's how I do it. I just buy a crap ton of Bitcoin and just never stop. And that's why there's buy pressure on Bitcoin. I'm not crazy for saying this stuff. I'm not crazy for saying this stuff. But yeah, we got King Louie in the house. It is a ghost town again on crypto YouTube, and just crypto content in general. Or people are celebrating. They're just hanging out with family right now. They're grilling out. They're doing things. We were gonna do a giveaway, a Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 new giveaway, but there honestly is not enough people to do it. I don't know if there's really enough action right now. It's really pretty much it's kind of a ghost town. But like we've said, and also I'm not the only one that has pointed this out. It's Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen broke down the social risk of Bitcoin, or just the social risk of retail compared to what the prices are doing. So here's the breakdown.
Hey everyone, and thanks for shipping.
So we could just look at this chart. The blue line is the price of Bitcoin. We had the peak of social interest last cycle in 2021 when Elon was talking about Doge, going on SNL. We had Roaring Kitty and the Wall Street bets and the Reddit craze, the short squeeze, like all of this euphoric action around coming out of COVID. And if you think about it, it's really, if you think about it, it's like the perfect setup to play on people's emotions was to literally like lock everyone up in the house, make them think you're going to kill grandma for sneezing, and then be lied to for months and months and months and months. You get sent stimulus checks. You literally can't work as much. And then all the while this is happening, you had felt broke or felt like just all these types of feelings and emotions, and you're kind of already kind of like vulnerable as a human. And then you got all of this stuff about how you can make more money and get out of the rat race, and they're like, and then there's Dogecoin, and there's all this stuff that you're like, whoa, okay, now I should start thinking about investing and risking a little bit, learning about crypto. So of course, like, people got intrigued into this because they were like, yeah, I was locked up in my house, like, and was told to wear a mask and all this stuff. Like, yeah, so social interest for anything besides that went into crypto. And then the moment that we got rugged by all of the exchanges and FTX and Luna and just the market being over leveraged and false promises and bad actors, skeletons in the closet, Tom Brady being humiliated, celebrities being humiliated. No one, and people for some reason, especially retail, they trust celebrities and what they say. That's why why do you think the Democratic Party will try and pay millions and millions of dollars to people like Beyonce to go up and say a couple words? Because they try and play on people's emotions of what celebrities think. So imagine you hear about Tom Brady losing millions and millions and millions of dollars in a crypto scam. You think retail social interest and social risk is going to be up at the top where Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs and everyone got like fooled and bamboozled? Absolutely not. This is why the social risk metric is at its lowest point it had ever been before COVID even happened. So this is why it's a freaking ghost town in crypto YouTube. Look, I got 2 likes and 3 concurrent viewers. It's literally just people that were just there. They've just been in crypto. There's no new people here. It's a ghost town. But it's crazy to me that it's a ghost town whilst we have been breaking Bitcoin all-time highs. It just means that retail was convinced to be priced out of Bitcoin, while the big institutions know this thing's going to $1 million per coin, and they're laughing all the way to the Bitcoin bank. I'm sorry if you have been led to believe that you've been priced out of this, but I'm not going to be the person to make you feel like that. Other influencers will. They'll say, oh, just keep risking all your money in altcoins and just only buy altcoins. How has that worked out for people over the span of the Bitcoin cycles? Not that great. Not that great. If you want to be honest, there's been only a few altcoins that have been able to truly outperform Bitcoin in its existence. XRP is a perfect example of someone trying to convince you that you should be all in on XRP because it's going to go to $100 potentially. All the while, Bitcoin year over year has been the thing to DCA into and the most solid store of value that you could have been doing this whole damn time. But no, you get convinced otherwise. But it's okay. Everyone's got to get fooled a few times so then you learn. Because then you'll never be fooled again. Man, it's too bad, though. It's too bad that there's not many more people watching because I'm spitting some damn alpha right now. I'm spitting the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth, guys. Sometimes the truth hurts. You have to be told the truth. I have to tell myself the truth all the time. It's probably why I've been a little volatile and understanding that you sometimes learning the hard way in crypto is almost sometimes the only way, because you will be so naive to think that you have it all figured out to then fully realize that you're not even close. You still got some time to go. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a ghost town. I mean, even trying to do giveaways, it's like, what the heck? No one's here. I'd love to give you guys some $10 of free ticker Bitcoin. But yeah. Gotta have more than 20 people. Have more than freaking 20 people watching. Come on. This is just outrageous. This is just outrageous. But let's see what's happening with Bitcoin. We gave you guys a scenario of what we think was going to be happening before we actually break all-time highs. The uptrend had not been sustained. You can see it here on the ribbon. We're most likely going to test the ribbon here. We're going to test the ribbon. There's 2 levels that we could be eyeing here, which is on the Fibonacci extension. We're going to trade probably back down into the 618, which is the 1068. This lines up perfectly with the liquidation levels that they want to sweep the lows here. They want to rock those leverage longs first to get the V-shape recovery. If you look at the 10-minute, you can see this is exactly what they're going to do. I'm calling this right now. They're going to bring it down here. They're going to try and fake you out first, though. They're going to make you think that was it right here, because this is also a support level right here at 107.2. They'll bring it at 107.2, and it'll bounce off a little bit off of that support. And then they will eventually bring it down to this level. You can see the range. This is wash trading brought to you by Binance. They bring it up, range it, and then they're going to bring it right down. And then they're going to V-shape recovery. Then we'll break all-time highs. They're not going to let you get an all-time high breakout right now, because then that will send a cascading of short squeezed short liquidations, and then it'll really cascade the price up too fast, because look at all this action and liquidity up here of shorts getting wiped out at these levels. Then when that happens, that forces them to sell, and then here's the next levels up here. Then we have the action up here, which is where the fib is, where the Fibonacci extension is for right here, that 114. We're close to the 114. It's kind of in the middle of this range between the first that's like the 786, got the 786, and then first 1618 up there, which is at 119, 120. So we're thinking a good potential price point of after we bounce off the V-shaped recovery, we get a 114. And this is just my bearish case scenario, because it's more probable now that they do this, because this is what they like to do. I mean, they're ranging Bitcoin right now and wash trading really, really bad. So just remember, this was yesterday. Marty was pointing this out, and I was like, he's probably right. He said, remember, the exchanges will consider executing the V-shaped flush now that liquidity is confirmed, because the liquidity was confirmed being real hot in between 104 and 107. Here's the 104, 107. You can see the liquidity here between here and here. This is where all of the liquidations are going to happen, all in this area, all right there. So they're going to push it there. That liquidates and flushes out the leverage, and then they can bounce it to the upside. Here's the you can see the action. You can see where this is going to play out. You can see it roll down, bounce right there, and push it back up, and then it causes a wave of cascading wave of liquidations. Soon, apparently, this will be illegal, because you can't do this. You can't send, because can CME Group send Bitcoin and ETH and Solana to market makers to wash trade and liquidate their customers? No, it's illegal. Can Coinbase do this with their international institutional investment? Yes, they can do that. Coinbase is doing it, but it's still technically illegal. Binance and Bybit and all these big exchanges, Binance is definitely the biggest culprit. They are sending millions and millions of dollars to a market maker called Wintermute, and they are wash trading, liquidating the market. They're allowed to do it because they are unregulated in this fashion. But if we had a global regulatory process for futures trading where the exchanges are not allowed to do this, we would not have this happening. This crap, this stuff, this this range wash trading would not exist. It wouldn't exist. This is the only reason why the prices are doing what they're doing. And guess what? Now we're learning that Coinbase and Binance don't even offer true proof of reserves for Bitcoin 1-to-1 ratio to their customers. So now we're getting into something really interesting. Now we're starting to learn a little something, because guess what? That's how everything is. If we bank ran every bank or all crypto exchanges right now, and we all said, you know what? I finally learned something. I want to own my own stuff. I can put it on my own wallet. I don't have to have you as a third-party service to be able to hold my stuff. I can hold it my own, and I can be my own damn crypto bank and hold my own assets. I don't need an exchange or any other person to hold it for me. And once everyone started to realize that, and we all went off and took our stuff off the banks and off these exchanges, guess what? They'd all go bankrupt, and the price of Bitcoin would shoot to $1 million overnight. This is the back-end underlying Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that we need to understand. This is what is happening. These exchanges don't actually have the Bitcoin because they're not offering the proof of reserves. Binance is freaking wash trading and not even holding Bitcoin. So imagine if all the whales on Binance said, I'm withdrawing all my Bitcoin right now. They wouldn't be able to be made whole. And Binance would be figured out. All the exchanges would then be figured out. And the real proof of reserves would then have to be put out, because then no one would want to use these exchanges. Self-custody, DeFi. That's the way. That's it. I mean, if we want to be honest, the only way that you're going to really, truly sustain yourself is by learning DeFi and self-custodial activities. Don't believe me? Watch the next couple of years. Watch how the supply shock with Bitcoin starts to get out of hand. And you want to know why? Because exchanges are expected to run out of Bitcoin 9 months after the halving. When was the halving? It was April of last year. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So they're already ran out of it. They're just not telling us. This report predicts the reserves could be entirely depleted within the next 9 months if current withdrawal rates persist. The thing is that I think there's probably something going on when it comes to the amounts of Bitcoin that are on these exchanges that, as I'm like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think it's being suppressed. I think the real numbers are not being offered because paper Bitcoin is being sold. That's why if you can get your Bitcoin off the exchanges and you can buy Bitcoin just straight to your wallet, I mean, you can use the Treasure wallet and buy Bitcoin directly through a off-ramp, on-ramp third party, which you could use MoonPay, by the way. That's who I've always used, is MoonPay. So shout out to MoonPay. It's a way to get your fiat currency off your debit card or your bank account or whatever it is, and you can get it right into your wallet, your self-custodial wallet, and you own it. You own it. That means the blockchain's showing you this is your Bitcoin, this is the address it's on, and if you have the keys, you can do whatever you want with it. That is the best education that I can give you guys all day, hands down, every day. Best education I can give you. That's the alpha. Everyone wants to know the alpha. I'm not here to give you the next 100x. Next 100x I think is ticker Bitcoin, but you won't listen. But and Bitcoin. That's the next 100x. Everyone's always thinking, "Whoa, what's the next Pepe?" Hey, it's Pepe. Stop trying to find something that is better than the original. But you still won't listen, but who cares? I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to give you education. I'm here to give you the boring stuff that you think is boring, but once you actually start to learn it, it's what's going to save you from making major mistakes, which I've made. That's why I feel like I can bring value to this space. I've made the mistakes. I'm telling you about them, and I'm not going to make you feel like this is some easy gamble. It's not. There's so much against you. When it comes to you putting money into something, there are people that are trying to get it from you. They're trying so hard to get it from you. They're called the extractors. This part of the cycle was very successful at extracting wealth from unsuspecting retail investors and getting rug pulled. we got convinced to go into these platforms and earn like stupid amount of unrealistic amounts of yield and think, man, this is too good to be true, because it was too good to be true. You had Andre Jack and all these people saying, put all your crypto into BlockFi because you'll earn interest. Not telling people that if you put it in BlockFi, you don't own it anymore. It's theirs. And those channels have millions of views. Oh, it makes me feel crazy. Because channels like mine, I'm giving you actual, true, like, responsible knowledge, and I got less views, and I get shadow banned. But no, follow the big accounts telling you to, you know, just like to completely do the most irresponsible thing. Oh, happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July. Look, they're doing exactly as I said. They're going to bounce it off of this support. They're going to fake out traders to make them go long here, and they're really going to bring it down to 105. I'm telling you, watch it. Watch. They're doing it right now. Look at this. They will fake recovery here, and then they're going to wreck you again. So just watch out. I'm telling you, watch out. Don't get fooled, because this is how I've gotten fooled so many times. The only way that I'll believe that this can bounce from here is if it goes past the EMA ribbon and starts to trade above the EMA ribbon on the 10-minute. That's the only way, because that's what happened here, and then that actually brought it up to a pretty decent amount. So you could see where it crossed the EMA ribbon, showed an uptrend strength, and then it started to go. But if it can't break the EMA ribbon, they're just faking traders out to make them think that that was the support. That's not it. Because that was support for there. Okay, so we're probably gonna go back down. So just watch out. Just watch it. Watch your pants. And know that you could probably put a limit long order down here. If anything, if you want to be a sniper, I'm gonna give you a price target right now to snipe. Here it is. You got 105.1. You got this price line right here, which is 105.276. You also could potentially get a bounce also off of 106.18. And this, as long as your leverage isn't too crazy, then your range is in between here. And you can see it clearly on the chart if you're looking at this particular setup. So right here is your range. I'll put it in this box. This is your range to limit long on the V-shaped recovery. And if you do it, and if you can successfully do it, you will then potentially be buying the bottom of the all-time high breakout, baby. So that's what we're looking for. Don't rush into any trades right now. Be a sniper. Look at the levels. Know that they want to liquidate longs down here, and it's a V-shaped recovery. Just want to remind you guys that this is what they like doing. And what do you know? They're doing it. Look, you can see it. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Let me make them think that there's support here. We're going to bring it up, make them try and go long, and then they're going to smack you down. Whoop-pow. All right, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate. Thank you, King Louis, for being active in the chat, even though it was a ghost town today. We've told you guys we don't care if there's no one here. We don't care. I mean, we're not here to complain too much. Sometimes we'll complain a little bit about the algorithm, but you know what? The only way we can we just keep showing up. We're going to keep showing up, and we're not going to quit. We're not going to capitulate. we like crypto. I like talking about crypto, and I feel like I bring a pretty decent viewpoint that people can respect and enjoy and get mildly entertained by. So I'm going to be here regardless. Don't care. But yeah, King Louie, you're awesome. Thanks for the support. Thanks for being a diamond hander, diamond watcher. Today, you are now officially the top fan, getting 75 experience points, my friend. So, also, as a reminder, I want you guys to go and raid David Goggstein's show. He said he wants me on, and then he'll ignore me. But then also, will repeat the same things I'm saying on my streams that I do at 11 a.m. And then I'll go onto his stream and I'll be like, why are you saying the same things I'm saying? Yeah, we might as well have a conversation and stream together so we can shoot the shit about some meme coins. But I don't know. So yeah, go and raid David Goggstein's channel, his timeline here. Like, and it's so annoying. I'm like, and then he's participating in this jail stool. Like, this is the thing. I want to go on David Goggstein on his show so then I can give him a hard time about jail stool and all that nonsense. Be like, bro, like, you're old school with, and I love that you're like old school Pepe, you love Bobo, but why are you giving people like this more attention? Like, why? Like, these are the extractors. These are like the Ben.eths and the cabals, the vape cabal. Like, no, you're better than that, David. You're better than that. That's why we got to talk. We got to have a convo. We got to have a conversation. We got to set the record straight. And also, I'm honestly getting tired of these like big accounts not recognizing the small accounts, because we're the ones that show up way more every day. And then with the grifters, they just come in and take money and leave. It's like, how much more disrespectful can you be to a crypto community to literally just come in when things are fun and exciting, take the money, and then literally leave and be like almost like you were never even there to begin with. It's like, I think it's disrespectful, and I think it's blasphemy, and I think people like that should be called out. And it is very, very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Because if you were to go back, and I have receipts and I have timelines and I have every video and every live stream from freaking the past 2.5 years where I've been consistently here, even when it was the most boring, treacherous, most annoying market in existence. And we were still here talking about it. Live streaming. This will be rewarded. And if you are that person too, where you have showed up every day and you've showed up regardless, you will be rewarded as well. Even if you don't have a channel or making content, just in general, I feel like you will be rewarded. So our time is coming, and it will come. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait for us to be the winners and the people that are respected. Whilst we got the biggest damn grifters in the space getting more of a platform. Damn it. Like, it's true. It's true. I'll say it to anyone's face. I'll say it to their face. Like, I will 100% be like, this is a major issue. And I've had to battle through this. My entire like existence in crypto is you're always having to prove yourself, or like, oh, the people that you know are getting content. It's just like, actually. Yeah, Wiley Kylie says, I only show up for the dips. Gotta collect them all. It's just annoying. Like, it's just for instance, like, I need to just talk to Thread Guy personally and like interact with him, and then maybe I can not have such a, because I would ask him, I would be like, bro, like, why would you leave why would you disappear when finally people start to ask questions and are like kind of on your case? Why would you then just you disappear, your profile picture goes to black, and it's just like, dude, when I felt like I made massive mistakes and I felt like a freaking, like, I was like, whoa, like, what did I just do? Like, with the leverage trading, I felt like a freaking sham. But you know what I did? I came back to my live stream. I expressed it. I about even damn cried on stream because I was like, wow, I feel like I'm letting these people, or to whoever's watching, letting people down. And so I continue to show up regardless if I feel those feelings, and I didn't just disappear. So I would ask those people, why do you get to just like, what makes you think you have the right to just then, quote, disappear while there's all these questions being asked? You should be asking the same damn questions. You start to view people in a different way and have different levels of respect. So if anything, my claim to fame would be that people respected me because I didn't leave when shit was tough. I didn't gaslight people. I didn't give people false promises. I'm just coming here, dude, on the internet, just trying to make a difference in my own life and hopefully make a difference in other people that are going to come into this space and learn about it. That is the honest truth and how I feel. Because at the end of the day, it's about the community. It's about us. It's about us. Like, I want you guys to be successful. Like, I want you to be rich. I want your investments that you're risking your hard-earned money on to work out. So if anything, I can tell you the things that I've made mistakes on and where I feel like I messed up royally. I can come to you guys and express that, and maybe, just maybe, it will help you in your journey as well. I don't know what other value I could bring. What better value could I bring besides that? I don't know. That's pretty top notch, if you freaking ask me. Clip this, please. Someone clip this, damn it, and start reposting. All right. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Go out with a bang. Remember that the markets are going to try and liquidate you first before they give you the money, so watch out. We hope you have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend. We will be coming back to live stream on Sunday, but we are going to be releasing a really, really amazing video tomorrow. Is tomorrow Saturday? Yes, tomorrow. Yes, Saturday. We're going to be releasing a really amazing video. It's going to be basically like just how to just stay calm and zoom out. So it's going to be very macro video. We're going to pull up some charts. We're going to give our main trading thesis on how we could probably do the best going into next year. Not this year, but going into next year, because everyone's been focusing on this year, but they don't realize that this market's extended now. The 4-year cycle is broken. Expect trillions and trillions of dollars to come on chain, and it's got to go somewhere. You need to be where it's going. Simple as that. We don't need to complicate it. $20+ trillion is coming on chain. What chain? Be there. Don't overcomplicate it. Trillions of dollars is coming on chain. You need to just buy the chain. Buy the coin. And hold. That's it. That's it. It's simple. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it macro. We're going to keep you guys in the game. And don't think you're getting priced out. because we got a lot more room to grow. All right, with that being said, my friends, we will see you on the next live stream. We hope you had a good time. We hope you have a good day with the fam. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the like button. I think we have 4 likes. We had 4 likes. Maybe we pissed off more people than we made them happy, but whatever. But all right. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.